Yeah, so in object-oriented programming, right? So you need to simply understand the concept of objects, object creation, right? So out here, suppose I create a new class known as a simple class like car. Okay, right. With the main function, like we had the main function yesterday, right? So I create this class with the main function. Okay, or I don't create the main function in it. Right. Now, what is the property of car? Okay, right. For example, string cost of the car. Okay, int or you can call it string name of the car. Okay, then int cost of the car class. Okay, right. So these are some of the properties of the car. Okay, right. And I will create a new class known as test car. Okay. So out here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something known as object of the car class. Okay, right. I'm going to create the object of the car class. Now, how do you create the object of the car class and what do you mean by creating the object? Okay, right. If I write over here, new car, this means that I am creating the object of the car class, right? Okay, fine. Now, what happens in the memory when I create the object? All right. In the memory, when I create the object, you get something like this. Just 1 minute, guys. An object is created. It will have the properties name and price. Okay, right. It will have the property name and price. In the memory, this object will have two properties. Okay, right. So out here, if I create one more object, then in the memory, it will have name and price. Right. Okay. Fine. And these objects cannot be accessed. To access these objects, right, you need to have object references. Okay. You need to have something like object referencing. Sorry. one object reference pointing towards the first object and other object reference pointing towards the second. Okay, so what we do is we write like this: car c1 equals to this and car c2 equals to this. Right? Okay, fine. And with the help of c1 and c2, you can change the state of the object. I can write c1 is this and c2 is this. Okay, right. Okay, right. Because you cannot just interact with the standalone objects. Okay, so you have to write like c1. If I write c1 dot, I can access the properties of the object. After writing a dot, you will get option like name. I can call it car. c1 dot, you'll get the option cost. I can put 100. So what will happen is in the memory, okay, in the memory, the name for this car will be A and the cost will be 100. Okay, right. And similarly, out here, if I write c1 dot, sorry, c2 dot cost and c2 dot name, I can put a different value in this. Okay, fine. So out here, every object will have its own set of properties. Okay, right. With these, by putting a dot, you can access them. All right. So this becomes B and 200. Right. Now I can also print like this: C1 dot name and say C2 dot. I can print the name for individual object. Okay. Right. So when you run this code, it will print A and B. Right. All right. Now, if look, the thing is, object is different and object reference is different. Okay, object reference will point towards object reference will point towards the object. Okay, object reference can change the value of the object. Okay, right? So what you can do is you can make the object reference point towards different object. Okay, as well. For example, I can write over here C1 equals to C2. Right. So what will happen is that C1 will point towards the object to which C2 was pointing. Okay, right. So C1 and C2 will point towards the same object. All right, fine. And if I print C1.name and C2.name, and if I run this program, then see it prints B for both of them. First it prints A, B, then for both of them C1 and C2 both can change the state of the object. If I write C2 dot name is equal to Z, and if I print both of them, if I run the program, it prints Z. Okay, it prints Z for both C1 as well as C2. Alright, fine. So that's the thing. Okay, you can make one object reference point towards object of any class. Okay, any object of the class, I mean, not object of any class, any object of that class. Object will be there in the memory, it will be static, it will be there, it will be constant, but object reference can move around. Okay, now suppose I declare a variable in my class known as static, or I declare a variable like int wheels. Okay. Now we all know that every car has got four wheels. Okay, so I will be initializing it like this, that is c1 dot wheels are 4. Okay, right, and out here c2 dot wheels are also 4. Now it doesn't make sense. Right, it doesn't make sense, right, because both the classes have the same set of wheels. Okay, you have four wheels, right, and I'm giving the same value to both the set of objects, not classes, objects. I'm giving the same value. So it doesn't make sense that for every object I create this variable and initialize it, right, when the value is going to remain the same. All right, so we declare this variable static. Okay, right. So out here, out here, if I declare this static, then what happens is it becomes a static variable, first of all. Secondly, it resides somewhere in the memory over here. right, at a place which is common to both the objects, right, at a place which is common to both the objects, it will reside at that place in the, all right, and you should not access the static variables with the objects because it has moved out of the object. Static can be accessed directly with the name of the class. If I write car dot v, okay, right, then all the wheels of the car will become equal to 4. Okay, right. So static things can be accessed directly with the name of the class. Non-static things can be accessed by creating the objects of the car. All right, fine. Now I can also put functions. I can make a function known as public void start, and inside it I can write system.out.println starting the car, and I can print the name of the car. All right, so when you run this program, it runs fine, and I can also, just a minute, I can write c1 dot start. Okay, so when I call the start function, it will print starting car and it will print the name A because C1 is calling the start function. It will print the name of C1. Okay, if I write the same function and call it with C2, and it will print starting car B because C2 is calling it over here. Okay, it's quite simple. Fine. Guys, just 1 minute. Right. So what I was trying to tell you is that we have this car class, and by creating the object of this car class, I can assign that object, or I can assign the properties of the object or the properties of the class different value for every object. Okay, and that's what exactly we do in Selenium as well. Right, so we can call functions on that object and everything. In Selenium also, we create objects of classes and we create the objects of existing classes. Right. For example, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add the jar files in this project. Sorry, I'm going to add all the Selenium jar files which are there in the lib, also the main Selenium jar file. Okay, if I go to the documentation of Selenium, right, this is the documentation, Java docs. Yesterday I told you, right, you can go to the download section, and under the download section there will be a Java doc link. If I go over here, then you will see that these are all the classes which are there in Selenium. Okay, Right, you just have to work with these existing classes. Alright, there is a class known as, look, you don't need to remember all of them. Okay, you just need some of them, and some of them you can find out from the documentation. Even I don't remember so many classes. Okay, there is a class known as, or if you scroll down to the bottom, you will be seeing something known as webdriver written. You click on this. Okay, now these are the driver classes in Selenium. As the name suggests, Chrome driver is for Chrome, Edge driver is for Edge. Okay, I'll tell about event firing driver later on. Firefox driver for Firefox, iDriver, Opera. Remote WebDriver is used in case of Selenium Grid. Okay, when you use Selenium Grid, okay, you tend to use remote WebDriver over there. Remote WebDriver can run your tests parallelly across different machines. For Safari, you have got Safari driver. Okay, right. So you have different driver classes and you just need to create the objects of these driver classes to work with Selenium. Okay, for example, what I'm going to do now is let's talk about Chrome driver. Okay, to work with Chrome driver, first of all, you need to download a file. Hold on, you go to the website seleniumhq.org and go to the download section, and out here, just 1 minute. Yeah, go to the download section and then scroll down. You will see the section third party drivers not developed by Selenium HQ. I'm sorry, right. So you'll have the Google Chrome driver over here. Go to this link and go to the download section, or go to this link, latest release, and sorry, click on this link. Right, you will see, just a minute, you'll see this directory. Download it from your operating system. For Windows 34-bit or 64-bit, you can download the zip file. Okay, now every driver or every browser has an exe file basically, which you need to download. If you download and extract this zip file, you will get a folder like this. Hold on. Yeah, you will get an exe file like this. Don't run this exe, it will be of no use. You don't run it. You need to copy the path. Okay, and go to Eclipse. Right. I'll just create a new class known as browsers. So I'm just telling you how to work with different browsers by creating the objects in Selenium. Look, so you just need to write over here the command system dot set property. Oh, sorry. Okay, you need to write over here webdriver dot chrome dot driver. Okay, and in the value you need to give the path. Okay, you can give the path of chrome driver.exe. All right, fine. And you don't need to run this exe, you just need to write it over here. And you need to create the object of Chrome driver class, which I just told you that there is a class for Chrome browser, Chrome driver. And you can work with Chrome. So you can write over here Chrome. If I just write Chrome, and if you hit Control space bar, there is a shortcut. If you hit Control space bar, you will get the names of all the classes in Selenium, which start with the word Chrome. Okay, so you just need to create the object of the Chrome driver class like this, and in Control space. Right. If you just create the object of the Chrome driver, and if I run this program, then it will simply launch. It will launch the Chrome browser. You see that? It is launching the Chrome browser. Right. And out here, if I write C1 dot, it will get the functions which are available with Chrome. For example, get. Get means go to a URL, and you can give the URL like http yahoo.com. So it will take Chrome to Yahoo. Okay. Giving the protocol is very important. You just cannot ignore this. You cannot write over here only yahoo.com. Giving the complete URL with the protocol http slash yahoo.com. Writing like this is important. And when you run this program, you'll see that. Hold on. You'll see that, see, Chrome opens and see, it's directing to Yahoo. So you just, in Selenium, what you need to do is that you just need to create the objects of the existing classes. Okay, right. Fine. You just need to create the object of the existing classes, right? And use them, and it will take you to see yahoo.com. Fine. All right. Now, similarly, you can create the object of a class known as Firefox driver. Okay, you create the object of a class known as Firefox driver, and this class will represent Firefox browser. For that, also you need to download an exe file. Okay, you need to go to the website seleniumhq.org. For every browser, you need an exe file. Okay, you go to the download section, and under this download section, you will have this Mozilla Gecko driver. Okay, you click on this link, and you will be taken to the next page wherein you need to download this exe. Okay, and you can scroll down and you can download it for your operating system. Oh, not this one. I'm sorry. You need to click on this latest link, not this link, the latest link. You click on this latest, and you can download the zip file for your operating system for 64-bit and 32-bit file. Windows, it's different. Okay, right. And you can actually keep it. I have kept it over here, the exe file. Again, you don't need to run it. You need to write the same kind of code. You need to write over here system dot set property command again. Okay, WebDriver, instead of WebDriver is .chrome.driver, you need to write WebDriver.gecko.driver, and you need to give the path of geckodriver.exe. Okay, in Java, when we give path, we write double slash. It's an escape sequence. All right. So when I run this program, you will see that a blank Firefox browser will be opening. Okay, let me comment this part of code. Commenting means disabling. Okay, I'll disable the first three lines, and when I run this code, you will see that a blank Firefox browser will be launching. So in Selenium, it's very easy. It's not a big deal. Okay, You just have to create the objects of existing classes and your browsers will work. Okay, now there have to be few things which you need to understand. Okay, for Chrome, make sure that you are using the latest Chrome plus the latest version of Chrome exe, Chrome driver exe, which you download from the Chrome website. Okay, if you're not doing this, then you'll fall into problem. Okay, if you face any issues in Chrome, uninstall it and install it again, right? At times it happens with very few people, it will work fine. In case of Firefox, make sure the problem happens when there is an upgrade. Firefox guys, they upgrade Firefox very fast. Today is the version 61 and Selenium version is 3.14, which is supporting. Tomorrow, 62 version of Firefox will come up and 3.14 will not support it. So you will have to wait till the time it's supported. Okay. So in I always tell people that prefer to work with an older version of Firefox. Okay, one or two versions back. The latest is 61, you can work with 59, 60 to be on the safe side and also turn off the automatic updates. Go to tools options, right, and go to updates, right, and you can check the option never check for updates. Don't let Firefox update itself, otherwise Selenium stops working with it. Okay, so this is the major requirement. This is what you need to do, and you can also write over here firefox driver.get to http yahoo.com. So you will see that Firefox will open and it will take you to Yahoo. Right, you'll see that Yahoo will load. You see that Yahoo is loading. Right, it takes a little while. Are you able to hear my voice clearly? Or my internet is slow. Are you able to hear my voice? Okay, maybe internet is slow. Maybe Yahoo is slow. Okay. Now similarly, you have got Internet Explorer driver. Okay, which obviously means that it will be for I. For I, you also need to download an exe file. Okay, just like you did for other browsers. So you need to go to the Selenium website, and on the Selenium website, you need to go to the download section, and you need to go out here, and you will see Internet Explorer driver server. Okay, you can download the 32-bit I or 64-bit I depending on your operating system. Download the exe. I have kept it over here. Okay, depending on the version of your I, right, Internet I driver server.exe. Right. I can, though if you run that, it will of no use. Okay, just let it be like this. Right. And you can write out here uh, just a minute, system.set property webdriver dot I dot driver. Okay, and you need to give the name of this exe. Just a minute. Okay, I'll copy the name and I will. There's some disturbance which is coming up. I don't know why. Hearing it. Okay, so iDriverServer.exe, and then you can write Internet Explorer driver. Okay, this is the shortcut. You can just write internet, hit control space bar. You don't need to type the full thing. Okay, and Internet Explorer driver I equals new Internet Explorer driver. So you need to create the object of this. For I, you have to make sure that first of all the zoom in I is set to 100%. Okay, right. If you go to I, if I just run this program, you see that a blank I will open. Okay, and in this, you have to make sure that the zoom level is set to 100% firstly, and secondly, go to tools options, internet options, under privacy, sorry, under security, there will be four tabs. For all the four tabs, make sure you have not enabled the protected mode, you have disabled it. You have to uncheck this checkbox for all these four. All right, fine. So this is what you need to do for I, and it will start working. Okay, to turn off the protected mode. All right, fine. Now out here, you have got the Edge browser as well these days, Microsoft Edge. So for that, you can download the Edge driver. Okay, from the Selenium website. If you scroll down, you will see Microsoft Edge driver. If you go here, right, you will see the Microsoft website. You can download the latest one and keep it under the drivers path. Okay, Microsoft webdriver.exe. Right, and you need to write the same command, that is system dot set property webdriver.edge.driver and give the path of exe file and create the object of edge driver, right, and say I can write ed.get http google.com. So when you run this, it will open edge and take you to, right. For edge, you can only work with one instance in edge. For example, I'm running this program. Okay, this program will, just a minute, just a minute, I'll just run it. Hold on. I think there is some issue. Okay. I have changed something in Edge. It won't work on my machine, it will work on yours. I've done something with Edge. I was working with some other tool. Okay, I've changed some port numbers. It won't work, but for you, it will work. All right. Fine. So these are the basic drivers. Apart from this, you have remote web driver, which is for grid. You have got Safari driver for Safari, which is not stable. It is not at all stable. It get a lot of issues with it. You have got Opera driver. Again, that is also not stable for Opera browser. But these are the basic drivers with which you will be working. All right. Now you don't need to write this system.set property everywhere. Okay, you can avoid that. You can avoid writing this. Okay. If you don't write this, you will get an error, but you can avoid it by doing a setting. You keep all the driver files under a folder in your PC. Okay, copy the path of this folder All right. Go to my computer properties and you will see advanced system settings link. Click on this. You will see environment variables button over here. Okay. Click on environment variables. You will see a new window like this. In this, you will have system variables. Go to the system variable known as path. Okay, edit, click on edit. In Windows 10, you will get screen like this. In Windows 7 or 8, I will tell you in some time. Okay, you click on edit text. In Windows 7 or 8, you will get a window like this. Okay, so in Windows 10, what you need to do, you need to create a new variable and give the path of this exe. Okay, in case of Windows 10, Windows 7 or 8, you'll get a screen like this. You have to go to the end of this path, put a semicolon. Don't change anything. It can create problem for your PC. Go to the end, put a semicolon. After semicolon, give the path to the folder where you have kept all the drivers. Alright. After this, restart your PC. Restart the PC. After restarting PC, open Eclipse, and then you don't need to write this. Have set the driver exes in the system properties. If I run this, see, I have already set it in my PC. Chrome will be opening up. You don't need to worry. If you don't do that, and if you even don't write this line, you will get error. Okay, it's mandatory to give the exe paths. Fine. So this is about basic objects, what objects are, what static is. I've just taken static very lightly with you. I will be taking it more elaborately. Okay. How are the different drivers? What are the different drivers? Fine. Okay. So for today.